Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they just got some news that we all needed to hear. It has to do with defensive tackle Derek Harmon. He may be back quicker than most of us thought was going to be possible. He didn't go on IR. I think he might be back as soon as week 3 against the Patriots. More on that in just a minute, but let's do some housekeeping. There's a bunch of moves that we really need to catch up with. So I talked about yesterday, safety Jabril Peppers. He officially joined the Pittsburgh Steelers today. Not the only player added here. We've got cornerback James Pierre. He was signed from the practice squad. The Steelers also had to place 2 players on injured reserve. Plus, a promising player was just released by the team from IR with an injury settlement. It was a little disappointing to me. I'm going to get to that. But let's talk about linebacker Malik Harrison. I mean, this is hugely disappointing to me. And quarterback Skylar Thompson. Both guys were added to the IR list and must each miss at least the next 4 games. You're looking at Harrison. I thought he was going to be a contributor for this defense. He was injured in the second half Sunday in the Steelers' season-opening 34-32 victory against the New York Jets. You guys, that must have been so satisfying for you guys. Such a fun game. Now, let's get to the exciting thing about today. I promise this. And let's talk about defensive lineman Derek Harmon. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they should not have long to wait to get their number 1 2025 first-round draft pick back. He should be back quite soon. And this is according to Steelers Now, Alan Saunders. Defensive lineman Derek Harmon, with the knee, is expected to take a step forward this week as he works his way towards an eventual return. Mike Tomlin told reporters that Harmon had already been ruled out for the home opener against the Seattle Seahawks in week 2. But Saunders, he previously wrote that the 22-year-old, he's more than likely ready to make his season debut on the road against the New England Patriots in week 3. So Harmon isn't going to play versus Seattle, but he may still build some momentum, participate at a high level for the next few days, and start ramping up to have his pro debut. The team likely doesn't want to rush him though, right? Might be choosing to slow play it just a little bit. I mean, you can see the wisdom in that. So winning that first game against the Jets certainly provides a little more luxury to take their time bringing him back. So let's kind of look at this. We're talking about Steelers' defensive front, right? It had a lot to be desired. You don't have the luxury of waiting too long for Harmon to come back, because against the run, that just didn't cut it. And it kind of is a continuation of what you guys experienced in the playoffs against the hated Ravens. I'm not going to go through the numbers. It wasn't good against the run, guys. But the Steelers allowed 182 yards, 2 touchdowns on 39 rushing attempts against the Jets, 4.7 yards per carry. Just not a recipe for success. That is not good. So you looked at Isaiah Loudermilk. He played 31 snaps. Y.A. Black, 24 snaps. A player I'm really hot on. I think he's going to be fantastic. But he's young. He's a rookie. We don't want him playing that many snaps to start out the season. Both of these guys, they're seeing increased playing time because they have to, because Harmon is out, and they're likely going to see the field with regularity against the Seattle Seahawks. So once Harmon is deemed ready to go, he's going to step into a major role as a starter for the Steelers. He's a guy who can absolutely get after the quarterback, and he can also defend the run. Such a complete player. I cannot wait for him to come back. And this is after the sprained MCL in Pittsburgh's preseason finale, and the organization just decided to not place him on injured reserve. At the time, they had confidence that he was going to be back, most likely week 3. It looks like that's still holding. So a lot to celebrate there. That's going to be a welcome player back. And once again, this win against the Jets, no matter how nail-biting it was for you guys, it provides some luxuries of being able to be smart with players when you're bringing them back from injuries. So kind of looking at this too, like most people are picking this game. I'm not a betting person, but a lot of people are rooting for this game to hit the over, because you're looking at Aaron Rodgers unexpectedly, like he is going to be ready to go. Mike Tomlin let A-Rod freelance Sunday, and it absolutely worked. He's going to test his limits and that of the Seahawks secondary as well. This may be the surprise offensive shootout of the week. especially when you've got DK Metcalf coming back to his former home turf. I think this game is going to be a shootout, and look for JSN. Man, that wide receiver from the Seattle Seahawks, I think he got like 90% of the catches. It was crazy, his production. So I think this is going to be a fun game. That might be a boat race, especially if the Steelers do not have Harmon back, especially if they can't stop the run. They're going to have to score points. So let's look at this. Also, the power rankings are out, and then I'm going to get to these roster moves. And I think it's a little bit disrespectful. The Steelers are coming in at number 15 from ESPN, and they actually ranked the best newcomer on this team as running back Kenneth Gainwell, and that's really interesting. The interesting thing, too, here as well is that Jaylen Warren, he doesn't pass block well. Let's just be honest about that. And you're also looking at Caleb Johnson. He's not up to snuff in the pass blocking yet as a rookie. So I think it's really important that we shouldn't have been surprised by this. Kenneth Gainwell is absolutely fantastic blocking the pass, even though he's undersized. So you're kind of looking at a transition here. You're looking at Kenneth Gainwell kind of taking over the Jaylen Warren role, if you will, and Jaylen Warren kind of taking the Najee Harris role. It's kind of weird, not what I expected, but now that you're seeing like the results of this pass blocking, if you watch any of the film or if you were watching the game, Jaylen Warren is kind of, what do you call it, a bullfighter, just kind of going ole with guys rushing the passer. You can't have that with Aaron Rodgers. So I think this is going to be really interesting. I think we're going to see way more of Kenneth Gainwell than any of us bargained for. And I think it might be a formula that's going to be successful. So let's kind of get to some of these disappointments here. You've got Thompson at quarterback, who was he was popping in the preseason, right? He had really good performances, but now he hurt his hamstring in practice last week, and the team has officially put him on IR. Thank goodness Mason Rudolph is on this roster, because you've got rookie quarterback Will Howard also on IR. In a corresponding move, the Steelers signed quarterback Logan Woodside to the practice squad. Don't know a lot about Woodside, you guys. I didn't even research it. He joined the Steelers in training camp after Howard broke a finger on his throwing hand, and he was among the initial roster cuts, but now he is back. Jabril Peppers is here with you guys. He's going to wear number 40. So excited for him. He served as a team captain with the New England Patriots. He had some legal difficulties. I cannot wait to see head coach Mike Tomlin get creative. The guy's a jackknife. Look at his old film from the University of Michigan. I think he's an 8-year veteran, a 9-year veteran. Look at his old tape, how U of M used him. Special teams, offense, defense, coverage in so many different ways. I think he's going to be a fantastic addition at safety for this team. So, also, Pierre. He's now a member of the Steelers 53. He's kind of a special teams guy. He was elevated from the practice squad for the season opener, played 11 snaps all on special teams against the Jets. And now you're looking at Harrison going on IR. And this is a really unfortunate part, because he was going to be a contributor. The Steelers signed Harrison to a 2-year, $10 million contract in free agency. He was working as a backup at inside and outside linebacker. This kind of hurts the depth here. Luckily, the Steelers have one of the deepest linebacker position group rooms in the entire NFL. Man, you guys are deep. But he played 4 snaps on defense, 16 on special teams in the opener, got hurt during the game. Just really unfortunate. And then the player that I was kind of excited by, just kind of seeing his athletic profile. And I thought he was going to be one of those guys that the Steelers have seen a lot, a guy that comes as an undrafted free agent and just works his way up the roster, kind of like Beanie Bishop did last year. But the organization released cornerback Cameron McCutcheon from injured reserve, came to an injury settlement agreement with him. So he's a free agent again. He can sign with any NFL team. And he really entered the Steelers training camp with a lot of optimism. He was a practice squad player to begin his career, but he had a legit chance to earn a spot on the 53-man roster. And this was when the Pittsburgh's secondary was about to be revamped. But what did Pittsburgh do? It was kind of a wrong place, wrong time. because Darius Slay came on, Jalen Ramsey came on. The Steelers kept adding players, and he kind of got squeezed out. And then on top of it, I thought he was going to still fight for a roster spot, but he got hurt in the first preseason game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. He exited early due to injury. It was a hamstring, and he was really just unable to return for any of the subsequent preseason matchups. So we'll see. I don't think another team's really going to pick him up immediately. Maybe he can bounce back to the practice squad and the Steelers can keep actually a pretty talented player on this roster. So he's a guy that can pop up in case the glass is broken, in case there's a fire. Let's hope it's not necessary. But yeah, waived, placed on injured reserve after his injury. He has passed waivers. He reverted to the team's injured reserve, and now he's outright released. So we'll see what happens with McCutcheon. That's unfortunate. Lots of excitement that Harmon's going to be back before any of us thought he would. I thought he wasn't going to be back until week 4. Haven't heard a lot about his injury. But now it looks like the arrow's pointing straight up for his return against the Patriots. So enjoy this week leading up to Sunday. I'm going to continue to be here on a daily basis, and you guys have been so generous. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Would love to have you be a part of this growing community. And we'll talk tomorrow. See ya.